continues in the Canadian Football League on a chilly October night in the Manitoba capital, a team that's been ice cold lately, the Blue Bombers. 6 straight losses, must-win situation. Bo Levi Mitchell is back for the Calgary Stampeders. If they win tonight, they win the West.
That's right, and for Bo Levi Mitchell back in Winnipeg, where he has great memories of an outstanding performance in his first career CFL start. Brian Braum looks to make great memories in his first career CFL start, replacing the injured Drew Willie under center for the Bombers this week.
Willie hurt last week. Braum came in relief. He makes his first start since 2011 in the National Football League. Here we go in Winnipeg tonight. Quickly up on the football. Calgary Stampeders will get good field position here. Up near the 40-yard line. And Bo Levi Mitchell, who's missed 3 weeks with ankle and knee injuries, but many thought he might have been out for a lot longer, is back.
He sure is, and there you see the numbers from that starting debut in Winnipeg last season. John Cornish, a monster performance in his last game against the Bombers about a year ago. And Anthony Parker enjoying a breakout season here in year 4 of his CFL career.
Bo Mitchell, 13-1 is his start. Cornish back in the backfield as well. Calgary Stampeders getting all their horses in order before the postseason. Our starters to watch are brought to you by Napa Auto Parts, where custom advice comes standard.
And if the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are going to slow down John Cornish today, these 3 guys are going to have to be a big part of it. Donnie Numba, a great special teams player, moves in the weak side linebacker spot. Johnny Sears, and on the strong side, as they look to get a little bigger, a little more physical in those spots. Greg Peake, the veteran leader on that defensive line, has had a productive year here in Winnipeg.
Trying to beef up that linebacking core because of number 9. There he is for 3 yards for a first down. Looks like he has it. Well, John Cornish, who comes into this game just 32 yards shy of the rushing lead, attempting to become the first guy in a long time to win 3 straight rushing crowns. And John Cornish has barely played half a season.
A remarkable half season for Cornish, who amazingly seems to get better every year.
Cornish lines up in the pistol formation. Mitchell in shotgun, now has his guys in motion. Decides to throw, and making the catch near the 40-yard line is Maurice Price for a first down.
Partner, you mentioned the feeling that Bo Levi Mitchell would be out for a long time. It was after this injury. Leg caught underneath him as he was tackled against the Toronto Argonauts. Twisted up, obviously in a lot of pain as he left the field. But here, back in the lineup to lead the Calgary Stampeders down the stretch.
Mitchell changes the play, hands it off. Cornish picks up 3 or 4 here.
And you know all eyes have been on this Winnipeg Blue Bomber run defense all season long. But under even more scrutiny with the Calgary rushing attack led by Cornish coming into town this week. You know they're going to be keying on Cornish. We've already seen 1 play action pass so far completed by Bo Levi Mitchell. Expect to see even more of that as they're going to be able to take advantage of the preoccupation Winnipeg has to have with the presence of Cornish in that backfield.
They average 148 yards on the ground per game. Quick hitter to Price. Price has a slant and a good tackle made, but close to a first down. Oh, Price, he breaks that tackle, and he could have been gone as Bruce Johnson twisted him down.
Yeah, nice job here by Johnson in space. Again, you see Cornish inside, nice block on the blitz pickup. Mo Price is not a guy you want to give a whole lot of space to. A good job by Johnson to come up and close that space before Price could get the legs churning.
One of the fastest men in the game, Mo Price. Bruce Johnson able to get him. 3rd down now for the Stampeders, who come into this one 12-2, and as mentioned, a win tonight and they seal first place in the West, would have a bye to the Western Final. Drew Tate comes in for third down to the line, and there he goes, lunging over top, and he gets to the 30-yard line. That's more than enough. Bo Mitchell returns, and Bo Mitchell is happy to return. That injury looked bleak.
When I went down, I thought I was probably done for the season. I mean, I kind of felt like it probably tore, and that's why I didn't want to, stay on the ground. I wanted to get up, so I tried to get up and walk, and the leg wasn't having it, man. So had to go back down. And when I got to the sideline, the docs told me that it was torn. They said, oh yeah, it's meniscus or something. It's torn on the outside. We'll go get it looked at. So, we got it looked at, and luckily it was a much better situation than it could have been.
Direct snap to John Cornish. Gang tackle near the 20-yard line, close to a first down once again. Yeah, Bo Mitchell was twisted like a pretzel on that play. And Drew Tate came in, of course, for the next couple of games. The great luxury for the Stampeders is a luxury, having true quality quarterbacks.
Yeah, absolutely. As you see the numbers that Bo Levi Mitchell has mounted to begin his career as a CFL starter. You look back at that game, and not just a case at quarterback, but if you recall that game, Charleston Hughes injured in the same game, Marquay McDaniel. They lost some key parts. Hughes gets closer to returning, quite probably could have played this week, but the Stamps taking precautions with one of their defensive stars. He will likely return next weekend.
Nick Lewis coming in from the sideline. Talked about the injuries to Marquay McDaniel, their leading receiver. Jeff Fuller out as well. Mo Price is their leading receiver for the Stampeders. He ranks 28th in the CFL. Still a dynamite offense. Time for Mitchell over the top, and that was in danger zone. Mo Price couldn't get to the football, and nobody home.
Mo Price looked like he thought for a second about lunging at this one as he came across the middle, taking a stab at it, but knew the way DeMond Washington right in the middle of the screen was lurking. Not a good idea.
Might have been a life-preserving choice for Price, who goes wide right of Mitchell. Joe West, the bottom of your screen. Second down and 10. Mitchell changes the play. And way offside is Anthony Parker. Crowd may have had something to do with that. Seemed to be some confusion in the cadence for the Calgary Stampeders.
Yeah, a number of receivers jumped for Calgary on that one.
Our referee here in Winnipeg tonight is Al Bradbury.
Offside, Calgary, number 3. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
Flag Brad Sinopoli for that, so it will be 2nd and 15. Brisk night here, Saturday night in Winnipeg. Long drive here, first series for the Stamps. There's the rush, there goes the football to the end zone, and Sinopoli has the touchdown. What a great catch from Brad Sinopoli, the quarterback turned receiver. But that was an outstanding throw from Bo Mitchell.
Well, perfectly placed, and he saw him open right away. You'll see Sinopoli, the number 2 receiver. Watch the great release he gets. Completely untouched here. Stride not broken at all. Easy read for the quarterback to get that to him early. Just breaks the plane. Line it up to kick for the extra point.
Brad Sinopoli, who will do the holding for place kicker Rene Paredes. They've had a few different batteries in their 3-man operation. Long snapper, holder for Rene Paredes this season. Easy convert. Great toss from Bo Levi Mitchell. He's missed a few weeks. No rust. Touchdown, Stampeders. Locker room, it looks like, after getting nicked up after this touchdown catch.
And again, a well-thrown ball, good release from Sinopoli gives that quarterback a nice clear read. And good job by Mitchell to throw him away from the free safety, who is the only help on the play. The question now, will Brad Sinopoli have a chance to catch any more footballs in this ballgame?
Bursting outside is Sam McGuffey. Up near the 40-yard line. Brian Brom, back up this season, gets his first start. First start since 2011 when he was a Buffalo Bill. Bombers down 7. Louisville, Kentucky native Brian Brom makes his first CFL start. He's not a rookie though. 29 years old.
Yeah, Brian Brom, well-traveled in the world of professional football, originally a second-round draft pick back in 2008 of the Green Bay Packers. Guy who was expected to compete with Aaron Rodgers for the starting job there. We know how that turned out.
Brom, another shotgun, quick hitter, incomplete. Yes. During that draft, a lot of people talked about Brian Brom being the guy, beating out Aaron Rodgers. And then, of course, Brom went from Green Bay to Buffalo, then to the Las Vegas Locomotives of the United Football League. He'll be throwing footballs tonight, he hopes, to Nick Moore.
Yeah, he's done the tour last week. The most action he's had here into the second year of his CFL career, a backup with Hamilton last season.
Deep drop, Brom gets hammered. Quick to get up, but Brian Brom just got rocked by Juwan Simpson, who is in his 100th CFL game.
And keep an eye on Juwan Simpson. The linebacker is going to come on a loop here around the outside, and the center, Steve Morley's trying to track him and can't get there. One that has to be switched based on the gaps the guys are going to. Miscommunication on that offensive line leads to the first quarterback hit of the game.
Lirim Hajrullahu, Jock Sanders back for the Calgary Stampeders. Dangerous returner, bobbles it a little bit. Nowhere to go. Bo Mitchell, first drive, made up 6 minutes of the clock. What a great season it's been for Bo and the Stampeders at 12-2, looking to seal first in the West tonight. Fans making the trek eastward to Winnipeg. Red uniforms in the crowd tonight following their Stampeders. Their second series, the handoff again to John Cornish. Could you imagine what John Cornish's numbers might be like this season? Had he not been knocked out in the first game with a concussion and then had some subsequent injuries as well, only playing half the amount of games?
Well, the interesting notion is coming down the stretch, and the idea of John Cornish, as everybody's fatigued and battered, being relatively fresh at this time of year.
Cornish missed a practice this week with the flu, also had an MRI done the bye week on his knee. Parker up near the 50-yard line. Good season for Anthony Parker, former Calgary Dino. Breakout season for him.
And just a simple out route here for Parker, and this is a guy who's the most physically gifted player in that 2011 draft class. It's taken him a little while, but getting more of an opportunity this year in Calgary. He's stayed healthy. There have been some injuries in the receiving corps, which has opened the door. He's definitely proven his worth.
Third overall pick in that 2011 draft. Mitchell has Joe West, who can score a touchdown like butter. Walks in, 51-yarder. Beautiful play action from the Stampeders, and Joe West was sprung.
And there you see that play action, and again, preoccupation on the back end for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. You saw Damon Washington, the halfback, crowd the line of scrimmage, ready to roll to help with some run support. Not a lot of deep help going with Joe West.
Yes, sir.
Calgary Stampeders, who score more points than anyone in the Canadian Football League, using a variety of receivers. Go 69 yards in 3 plays, including that bomb from Mitchell to Joe West. For Joe West, that is his first touchdown of 2014.
RPB, I love you.
Season with a heavy heart, lost his brother mid-season, Joe West. One of the quality weapons the Calgary Stampeders possess. This one was easy. There's Brian Brom getting ready to roll here. Second series upcoming. Let's go down to Sarah Orleski.
Well, Rod, you and Dwayne mentioned a little bit about his pedigree and how he was a second-round draft pick of the Green Bay Packers. Well, when it comes to family lineage and football, Brom certainly has it. He comes from one of the most famous football families in Kentucky. Starting with his father, Oscar. Oscar and his 3 sons all played for the University of Louisville. His brother, Jeff, was a quarterback as well, also in the NFL as well as the XFL, and his brother Greg broke ranks and became a receiver, but they had quite the pedigree down there. And how about this? Brian Brom, here's something not many people can lay claim to. He was on the cover of Sports Illustrated as a high school athlete.
He was. Great quarterback family. Devon Washington. Bombers need some sort of spark here. And Brian Brom, a lot of people down in Kentucky watching tonight. The former Louisville Cardinal. There's his wife Ashley, who is watching tonight as well. That's the hard part, when you know family members know what your husband or your brother or your son are capable of doing and have been around the game for such a long time, but just haven't been able to get a chance in recent years.
Yeah, that's it. Just a guy looking for an opportunity.
Well, the opportunity is here. The door is open. Brian Brom trying to walk through it. Paris Cotton, his first touch. And of course, here in Winnipeg, we've had the saga of Nick Grigsby. Grigsby has been the leading rusher for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and had a real breakout season himself, but went into Mike O'Shea earlier this week and demanded to be released.
Yeah, unhappy with his role, and his role continuing to be wait your turn / re-earn your opportunity. As Paris Cotton, who's going to stay in the lineup this week regardless.
Brom. Complete pass, first down. Romby Bryant, the former Calgary Stampeder. Mike O'Shea takes note.
We mentioned Nick Grigsby, of course, in his release this week. Reports from our own Gary Lawless that Grigsby is expected to surface as a Hamilton Tiger Cat in the week ahead.
Cotton in the backfield, first down. Play action. Brom now rolling, throwing, caught into Calgary territory. Rory Colhert makes the snag at the Calgary 52.
A nice job by Brian Brom on the run. Threading the needle here to Colhert off a little bit of play action.
Well, incumbent for the Blue Bombers to find a way to answer early on here. It's been all Calgary. They let this get away from them in the first quarter. It could be over early. Have to keep pace. Play action again. Down the sideline, Carl Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald has a first down. Fullback out of the backfield. Brom ready to roll again. His coach likes what he sees in Brian Brom.
I like Brian right from the start. You know, he strikes me as a very good professional, a guy who prepares extremely hard. He's got that calm demeanor about him in the huddle. He proved last week in the second half of the game that he's going to stand in there and take a shot if he has to. He's going to move out of the pocket if he has to. But he's certainly, to me, he's a ready quarterback.
And again, much of that having to do with his experience around various professional leagues. And you heard Mike O'Shea talk about a guy who knows how to prepare, being a professional. And again, it goes back to what Sarah spoke of with the family background.
2nd down and 11 after Paris Cotton was stopped for a loss. 6 receivers set this time. Here comes the rush. And another reception downfield. It's Nick Moore inside the 30-yard line. And Brian Braun picking apart the Stampeders here in a drive that the Blue Bombers must answer with.
As Braun settles in, so too does his left tackle. Jace Daniels doing a nice job in pass pro here, working against Freddie Bishop at the line of scrimmage. 2 rookie starters on this offensive line, another part of the shuffle for the team this week. Daniels along with 2nd overall pick Matthias Gosen at right guard.
Again the play action, but a one-hopper out to Romby Bryant. Now keep in mind, we're talking about Brian Braun the way we're talking about him, but in Winnipeg, which was renamed Williepeg early in the season, all the talk was surrounding Drew Willie, who got his team off to a 5-1 start.
Yeah, and Drew Willie out of the lineup this week, having some trouble getting a grip on the football, basically with his injury. So they elected to scratch Drew Willie, not even on the active roster this week. Brian Braun again makes his first career CFL start.
2nd and 10, Braun and caught Moore and diving forward. Looks like he might be a little short of the first down. Not sure if that yard marker fell straight down, but very close to the first down.
Just that out route for Nick Moore. Gets first down depth and makes that break. Saw an unintentional rub there against man coverage as there were a couple other receivers. Keon Raymond slowed down before going through that traffic to get to Nick Moore. Moore coming off a season high 9 receptions last week.
Well, they looked at the sideline. The marker showed 3rd down and about 1. And they're bringing out Lirim Hajrullahu. Braun will stay in to hold for Hajrullahu, who has had a sensational season, his first in the Canadian Football League. Leads the CFL right now in percentage. To get the Bombers on the board. And Hajrullahu boots it through. Winnipeg gets its first points, but still down by 11. Brian Braun, pretty impressive though.
Yeah, definitely a good start for Brian Braun here. 2nd possession for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, but looking very confident marching the football. I thought the Bombers did a nice job, particularly given the state of their offensive line. A couple of new starters in that unit as well, moving the pocket around a little bit, using play action, not allowing the Calgary Stampeder pass rushers to get in a rhythm or sort of pinpoint a spot and pin their ears back coming to that pocket.
You a little surprised they didn't go for it on 3rd down 14 zip.
Yeah, a little bit surprised given A, the score, B, the field position, and C, the momentum.
2 minutes to go, opening quarter. Calgary has scored twice and owned possession. Cedric Cunningham is back for Calgary. Hajrullahu has it on the tee. This into the wind, and the ball floats up. And bursting up the middle is Cunningham near the 40-yard line.
Well, John Cornish has been busy early in this ball game. He inches ever closer to the league's current rushing leader, Anthony Allen of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Just 5 off the pace right now.
There is a chance he could win the rushing title this year. Playing just 11 games. Michael Ray Richardson did that for the Blue Bombers back in 2000. Cornish romping again, another big run, peeling off about 20 yards, 21 yards for Cornish.
And they're going to get a good jump start here with the direct snap. You'll see the tackle, right tackle Dan Federkyle Around the tight end and out in front, he's got that kick-out block on the DB to open up that lane for Cornish to turn upfield.
First and 10, Stampeders from the Winnipeg 49. Mitchell's been on fire early on. Whistles blow, though. Play clock had come down to zeros.
First down.
Time count violation against the Stampeders. John Huffnagel, his team 6-1 on the road, 6-1 at home. How about this number, though? 7-0 after a bye week. Says a lot about the preparation, does it not?
Yeah, absolutely. Ability to regain focus after taking a break, maintain momentum, particularly in a season like this.
Stamps coming off a bye week. There's Parker slanting and slicing up near the 50. Took a hard hit. Let's go down to Sarah Orleski once again on the sideline. Sarah?
Well, we saw Brad Snopley leave and go to the locker room. Word from the Stampeders is that he is done for the day with an upper body injury.
Well, that's not good news for a team already so banged up. Again, Stampeders this season have been able to plug and play so deep in so many areas. The veteran Nick Lewis. Mitchell now throws it up, and Parker catches it. And he's dropped by Johnny Sears. Mitchell got some positive yardage when it all looked lost in the backfield, but they're still going to be short of a first down.
And Bo Levi Mitchell hanging in there despite being in the grasp in the backfield here. Suggests that he is not thinking at all about that leg injury that he's just returned from.
Now this would be about a 53-yard field goal with the wind, but Rob Maver comes in to punt this football. Very adept at this, finding the corner, and looks like it bounced into the end zone. It came back, and it's a single point that's added. That for a moment looked like it was a perfect kick.
He couldn't have placed it any better on the bounce. He's just got to work on the direction.
Yeah, the side bounce. Yeah, the side spin. That's what happens on the final play of the opening quarter. Single point from Rob Maver. Stamps, though, came out storming. 2 quick TDs. And after 15 minutes in Winnipeg, they lead 15-3. Still have 3 to play, and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers look good. And the one drive in particular, engineered from Brian Brom, who makes his first start. 10th different starter for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers over the last 14 years.
Yeah, well, it's been remarkable for them at quarterback over that stretch, looking for consistency since Kevin Glenn left town, particularly. But you look at Brian Brom, he was brought here, although overshadowed by Drew Willie. But this was a team that one of their primary goals in the offseason was to be better at quarterback, not just in terms of their starting quarterback, but their overall depth and some competition at that position. Getting Brian Brom from Hamilton was a big part of that.
Bombers now with the wind at their backs. Brom from the 35. Down 12. Good play action again. And over the top. Now 6 of 9 in the game is Brian Brom. Clarence Denmark making the catch near the 45-yard line will reset the yard markers.
Again, one of the keys here for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers with the score at 15-3 is to make sure to keep that score close and not get into a situation where they're having to get pass happy, because it puts Brian Brom at a huge disadvantage. Where they can mix up play calling and have some play action happening right now, this is a very happy place for Brian Brom, and you're seeing the success.
Another quick hitter. Great move in open field. And making the flip downfield. Corey Watson. Another Winnipeg first down.
Corey Watson's just going to work into the middle of the field, and he knows he's heading into traffic here. Just going to settle down to catch the football. Watson not known necessarily as the most elusive guy in the open field. It's a pretty sweet move to run the defenders into each other there.
Hand off to Cotton. Paris Cotton explodes up the middle, down near the 20. One of the reasons that Mike O'Shea wanted to see Paris Cotton the last couple of weeks, which created the controversy. Paris Cotton, keep in mind, looked like it was his job in the preseason, then had a knee injury.
Yeah, and Cotton, an explosive guy, a little bit more of a burst player, as you see on this play. A nice job by the offensive line to create that seam. Cotton, a quick accelerator, turns that into a big play for the Bombers.
Braun to throw. And a low toss that time, an accurate pass, looking for Colehurt. You got to give the Blue Bombers a lot of credit in this one, so far staying in this game, considering all of the moving parts into the lineup, particularly at quarterback and at left tackle.
Yeah, quarterback making his first career CFL start. Left tackle, Jace Daniels making his first career CFL start. Right guard, Matthias Gosen making his second career CFL start.
Here comes the rush. And they got to Braun just as he threw the football. Stampeders loaded up the house that time and brought everybody, and so once again the Blue Bombers drive is going to stall here, and Lirim Hajrullahu is coming out.
Yeah, and here you'll see the Bombers have to take those 5 inside guys. Duron Mayo, the unblocked man on the outside. Has to be a hot read for a receiver, hot read for a quarterback to get rid of that ball to account for the unblocked player.
Hajrullahu puts it up, and this gets through. What a great season for the young man who kicked in Western. Ryan Braun hammered as he threw the football, but the Bombers get 3 more, cutting into the lead. It's 15-6. And Brad Sinopoli done for the night. Costly touchdown catch. First catch for Sinopoli of the night. Scores and then has to leave the ball game. Mitchell. And down he goes. Fumble football. Winnipeg may have it.
Mitchell under pressure. Ball came loose.
No signal yet.
Looks like
Calgary does have the football. Blue Bombers converge on Bo Levi Mitchell.
Kayshawn Fraser in a defensive tackle. Second man from the left on the line of scrimmage. Nice rip to get underneath the tackle and just keeps working. Puts his helmet right on the football to pop it loose.
That last scoring drive for the Bombers covered 6 plays and 53 yards, capped off by a 29-yard field goal. Makes the score.
Greg Peach is down, injured Blue Bomber in that pile-up. Winnipeg team that we talked with him yesterday said, hey, it ain't over here. Mike O'Shea has emphasized that. It's playoff time that begins right now. They know every game is do or die. You got to win them all. You got to win them out.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mike O'Shea has been consistent from day one in terms of his approach and his message with this team.
First-year head coach Mike O'Shea, longtime player in the Canadian Football League, one of the most fierce linebackers, one of the all-time leading tacklers in the history of the game, and of course got into coaching, went to Toronto, special teams coordinator, got the job here in Winnipeg and got his team out of the gate. Great record, 5-1, but they've gone 1-8 since that time. Says he can't put his finger on it. You know, a lot of little things here and there. Certainly the game against Hamilton, a winnable game they lost, but right around Labor Day, for whatever reason, this team started to flatline.
And to be fair, Mike O'Shea's never going to say it because his expectations are always going to be high. But in a lot of ways, that quick start may have raised the expectations too high too soon for this Winnipeg Blue Bomber team.
2nd and 20. Mitchell runs for his life. Nick Lewis has the catch and a first down. I would say that Bo Mitchell's leg injury is just fine. Did you see the way he escaped there? There's an injured Winnipeg Blue Bomber again.
I believe that's Damon Washington. It looked like Nick Lewis, just before he went airborne, his knee may have clipped Washington in the helmet here. You see the escape from Bo Levi Mitchell. But after Lewis catches the football, he sees the contact coming. And there it was, the knee right on the helmet. And Damon Washington lay motionless from the moment he hit the turf.
Awkward hit.
Nick Lewis's right knee glancing off the side of his helmet.
So as they attend to Damon Washington, we'll step aside here from Investors Group Field in Winnipeg, and even has a smile. It did not look good there. This collision with Nick Lewis. See the neck and helmet kind of snap a little bit.
Pretty flush shot here of the knee on the helmet.
Trying to get an update from Sarah shortly on Damon Washington. Again, huge conversion on 2nd and 20. Another direct snap to Cornish. Left side, and he mauls that Winnipeg defense again. A Bomber defense that is last in the CFL against the run, allowing almost 130 yards per game. Cornish is rolling up some yards early tonight.
Again, it seems that we're saying it week after week. That run defense has been the Achilles heel for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers all season long.
Officials marking the ball, and will bring the yardsticks out near the 50-yard line. John Cornish just keeps rewriting the history books, does he not?
Absolutely. In this game, he has become the 3rd Canadian player in CFL history to go over 6,000 career rushing yards.
A guy who averages 117 yards almost per game. Former Kansas Jayhawk, New Westminster, BC, set a standard like no other in the last couple of seasons in the Canadian Football League. There he goes again. Cornish head down. How would you, because you have many great ways to describe people, how would you describe John Cornish if you were sitting there to someone who had never seen John Cornish before?
Versatile, aggressive, deceptive. I think John Cornish is faster than people think. He's stronger, more physical than you expect watching him, more elusive than you expect when you watch him.
And on the outside, hello, Mo Price. Matt Buckner says hello.
Great read and a big hit from Matt Buckner. They've thrown this hitch screen to Mo Price a couple of times. Just beat his block. Nick Lewis, the man trying to get to him. And Buckner just beat him to the spot.
Big stop here for the Blue Bombers. Stampeders driving into Winnipeg territory. This kick will come against the wind now. Johnny Sears is back. We'll let it bounce. And it's in the end zone for a single point. Cold night with a big hitting night tonight. 10-point game here in Winnipeg. Brian Braum, bit of a nomad, you would say.
Yeah, he's been around the football world. His college career, great career at Louisville with the Cardinals. 2nd round pick, as we mentioned, with Green Bay. Got a couple of NFL starts in his stint with the Buffalo Bills before moving on to the UFL.
Talked about his college years, highly touted. When he went to Louisville, he was in a fight at the time for the starting job with a guy named Stéphane Laforce.
Yeah, another former Blue Bomber starter, Laforce. Laforce was the veteran starter when Braum arrived. Braum took over as a full-time starter in his sophomore season. There's other Winnipeg connection on that resume, his list of travels that you saw. Of course, in Las Vegas, he backed up Chase Clement, who was in training camp with the Bombers last season.
2nd down and 7. Braum, here's the rush again. What a hard toss. Right over the top, and Corey Watson has another first down. He's had arm strength. Brian Braum not afraid to thread the needle. Pelted it in there.
Well, we're seeing all the tools from Brian Braum in the early going of this football game. We've seen a bit of mobility. We've certainly seen accuracy from Braum. And as you mentioned, the arm strength with that last dart.
Midway through the second quarter. Now it's some razzle-dazzle. Braum throwing downfield and shoveling it. It's caught. It is caught. Oh! That could be one of the plays of the year right there. I don't know what they call that play, but I'll tell you what, it worked.
And Mrs. Braum likes it.
Well,
here it is. Starts off looking like a reverse, and then the flea flicker. Dodge a little bit of a bullet there in the backfield.
That could be one of the catches of the year. Plays of the year. Certainly for the Blue Bombers, one of their best. Inside the 10. Robert Marve in the game now.
You can see this big play coming from up above. As Nick Mort was timing up his motion, you knew certainly he was going to end up taking the handoff. It was that extra little flick for the flea flicker back to Brian Braum.
Clarence Denmark makes catches like that. He's had some of the catches of the year in the past. That is a sudden nomination late in the season. 2nd and goal. Braum is sacked, fumble football, and the Calgary Stampeders have it. Junior Turner smothers the football, and after all that, the Blue Bombers give it away.
Pressure's coming from the bottom of your screen. A couple of rushers from the outside. You see Duron Mayo on the loop, Lynn J. Shell's coming. And then on the inside, Sean Lemon. The big hit that pops out when loose. 5th forced fumble of the year for Sean Lemon. Joining John Bowman, Odell Willis, and Teague Sherman. The CFL lead in that department.
Play action now, Mitchell. Lots of steamboats to Cornish out of the backfield. And he made 2 Blue Bombers collide as he rumbled over the 25-yard line, close to a first down. The Blue Bombers, that's been an issue for them. Those turnovers, they're last in the CFL and takeaway giveaway. How about this play, though?
And John Cornish, this is carrying through after he takes that run fake and just leaks out to be part of the pattern. Quick outlet there for Mitchell. He felt the pressure.
Talked about Winnipeg being last in takeaway giveaway. The Stampeders are first, and they feast on takeaways, turning them into points. Looking to do that again here. Again, the direct snap. The Bombers aren't fooled, though, but Cornish keeps running. And there's a penalty flag back at the 20-yard line.
A couple of flags down on the play.
One looks like it's going against Calgary. There are 2 different calls here, and a couple of Stampeders were also down.
Injured Calgary players.
Well, Brander Craig had the right guard.
Holding Calgary, number 65. That penalty's declined. holding Calgary, number 85. 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
Couple of holds. It'll be first and long.
Craighead, the rookie at the University of Texas, El Paso, from the Ottawa area. Here you'll see one of the holds, Dan Federkyle, who bumps out from tackle to the tight end spot when they go with this particular formation. Initial good contact, good position, but just held on a little bit too long and got caught. And Joe West blocking in the open field did the same.
Craighead is up. Looks like he's in a lot of pain here. Had a limp over to that sideline.
Guy who's battled some injury issues here in his rookie season. Was a starter from day one, opening day starter at left guard for the Stampeders. He got hurt, and that opened the door for Shane Bergman to move in at that spot. But upon his return, Craighead had been playing on the other side. An obvious discomfort here. Stampeders' first-round pick in 2013.
Spencer Wilson comes off the sideline. Fills in for Craighead.
Again, you talk about the depth of the Calgary Stampeders. Spencer Wilson, been the guy who had started for much of this season at the right guard spot. It'll be interesting. Wilson had been coming in as a sixth lineman. He was the guy playing tackle when Federkyle would bump out to tight end. Now they don't have the personnel for that formation, as they had only dressed 6 linemen for this game.
Pierre Lavertu, their #1 pick, was scratched. Mitchell, sideline toss to the initial first down marker for Anthony Parker, forced out of bounds there. Under 4.5 minutes to go before halftime. Blue Bombers looking for a hold here and trying to get the football back and inch a little closer in this one.
Tough break for the Blue Bombers with the fumble, obviously, after not just the momentum but the field position. It resulted from that big play. Barry Echeverry looks for that big stop. The momentum-changing play from his defense.
Mastermind of a defense unique to him, and picked off the former Stampeder Chris Randall.
Well, a couple of flags immediately thrown.
Now Joe West had been bumped out of bounds and came back in, but might have there been some interference as well, and I think this is going against the Stampeders. This looks like it's a Winnipeg turnover. They try to sort it out here, but how about this one for Chris Randall? He had this date circled on his calendar for a long time.
There's no infraction on the play. The player was pushed out of contact. It's a turnover as a result of an interception. First down.
Chris Randall, first time facing his former team, a team that he led with 4 interceptions last season. 5 in his couple-year career as a Calgary Stampeder.
Came over as a free agent in February out of Berkeley, California. Played at Utah State. And Bo Mitchell throws his 6th pick of the season. So the Blue Bombers get this back and have suddenly turned the tide again. A team that comes into this game certainly not as well rested as John Huffnagel's team after a bye week. The Blue Bombers only had 4 days rest here.
Yeah, a tough break in terms of the schedule. Stampeders, not just in terms of the physical break, but just in terms of preparation and planning, particularly when you look at the changes that the Bombers had made to their lineup this week, especially prepping a new quarterback.
New quarterback, some new faces, a little turmoil off the field.
The previous play is under review.
CFL command will always look at a turnover.
Watch for the other moving parts. It's the matchup at the bottom of your screen, Randall versus West. And so you see the flags didn't come down until late. It wasn't a pass interference situation that they were looking at. It was that Joe West had gone out of bounds and then came back in. But the ruling was that Chris Randall had pushed him out of bounds in his initial jam off the line. which is allowed. A player just can't go out of his own volition and come back in.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. It is the interception, first down.
So the Blue Bombers get the ball back after turning it over. Team that has lost 6 straight games, 8 of their last 9. Coming off a loss on Thanksgiving Monday to Edmonton. A couple of blowout losses in a row. Trying to right the ship. Harris Cotton in the pistol formation behind Brom. Play action again. Here comes the rush. Brom has to run, and he throws it out of bounds wisely. There's that experience that Brian Brom brings to this game. A lot of quarterbacks in their first start don't make that play.
No, decision making, certainly. You go back to his time in Hamilton, it was one of the things Kent Austin has always emphasized as one of his key traits, key attributes in a quarterback. Brian Brom has that football IQ for sure.
It's the OC, Marcel Belfay, former head coach in Hamilton as well. Stampeders coming off the edge now. Brom in the pocket, and again thrown under duress. That's 3 times now. The Stampeders won't get a sack, but certainly altered the play.
Yeah, pressure provided that time. Number 94, Frank Beltre, guy who was brought in to add some depth on this defensive line when Charleston Hughes went down. Seeing a little bit more time in the rotation.
Lirim Hajrullahu trying to kick it out of bounds. Will this go out inside the 20? It doesn't look like it will. They're going to throw a flag. The ball cannot travel in the air between the 20s. So not a good kick for the rookie kicker, who took over the punting duties, of course, when Mike Renault went out with injury.
Illegal punt out of bounds. Winnipeg, number 70, 10 yards from where it went out of bounds. First down.
Instead of being down near the 20, it's up near the 35-yard line.
And Hajrullahu, a guy who really didn't even take full-time punting duties in University at Western until his final season, and has shared the kicking job with Darryl Wheeler for the early portion of his career.
Final play before the 3-minute warning. It's a hitch screen to Anthony Parker. He draws a crowd. That will do it before the 3-minute warning, which is issued to each sideline. 10-point game here. Stampeders looking to lock up first place in the CFL West. Look at those 2 Calgary touchdowns. The panel will also talk about the earlier game. Montreal picking up the win in Toronto. Down to the dying moments there. Taking over first in the CFL East. John Cornish rips off another first down.
A whole lot of John Cornish on first down throughout this ball game. The Stampeders set the tone right from their first series that they were going to force the Winnipeg Blue Bombers to try and stop their ground game. It's a challenge the Bombers have faced virtually every week. Every team's trying to do it to them.
Mitchell, nice catch, far sideline. Anthony Parker. You know, you only have to go back a couple of seasons when Anthony Parker was not used very much, only on special teams for the Calgary Stampeders. Completely different ball player now.
Yeah, really starting to truly realize the potential. You look back at that 2011 draft class, 4 receivers taken in the first round of that one. Parker, the first one off the board.
His dad, a former Stamp and BC Lion. Pitch to Cornish. Running room, left side. Gobbled up there after a pickup of a couple yards. Inside 2 minutes to go before halftime. For the Stampeders, they have to get this a little closer to get it into Rene Paredes's range. Normally around here it would be okay, but this is against the breeze. Stamps, by the way, did win the toss before this game, and that could factor in the second half.
Well, working against a wind and really where Paradise has struggled this year is from beyond the 40. Just 5 of 13 outside the 40 this season.
His 3 field goals in his last outing. Mitchell stands in and heaves one, and so the Stampeders are going to have to boot it back to Winnipeg with 1:35 before halftime. Marve, their punter, will come out and try to angle one here. But again, into the wind, could kick a floater.
Just looked like he may have had a shot a little further across the field over on the short side to Nick Lewis on that last one.
Again, the Blue Bombers without Damon Washington. A little trick play here. Direct kick and then an onside kick from Rob Cote. The Blue Bombers got it. They were not fooled.
A good reaction from Johnny Sears and the Blue Bombers. The direct snap goes to the up back, the personal protector, Rob Cote. Snap is going to go directly to him. Maver makes it look like he's running a fake to the left. Meanwhile, Cote kicking the other way, but because of the field position, the Blue Bombers have on predominantly their defensive players, what you call your punt safe team. So they were ready for Mark Killam's tricks.
They had 2 players on side for that kick. 1:26 to go before halftime. Open man is Colehurt up near the 40 and a first down. Rory Colehurt got dinged as well. Very cool night here. Colehurt is slow to get up.
And Colehurt, a guy who continues to prove his value
Juwan
to these
Simpson
Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Is also down.
Colehurt, the field wide out for the Blue Bombers. They staked his claim to that position last season. This year, a fixture, 447 yards for him coming into today's ball game.
Both of the players injured on the play. Retreat to their sideline. Former junior star Brett Carter comes in for Colehurt. It's at the bottom of your screen. First and 10, Winnipeg. Standing in, sideline, Nick Moore. Nick Moore, who signed a lavish contract with the Blue Bombers in the offseason, the former BC Lion, coming off an 1,100-yard season, 6 touchdowns, 73 catches. He has been riddled with the injury bug here in Winnipeg as well. Still yet to have his first Winnipeg Blue Bomber touchdown. 2nd and 5. 6 receivers, 3-man rush. Time for Brom. Sideline, and great play by Buddy Jackson. Brom tried to loft one in there, and Buddy Jackson, who returns to the lineup after missing 4 games, hamstring issue, makes a good play.
That matchup out to the boundary side, Romby Bryant, Buddy Jackson. Jackson may have just gotten just enough of that ball. See if he actually makes contact. He was suggesting he tipped it. But at the very least, clearly distracted Romby Bryant from being able to haul it in.
Jock Sanders cuts up near the 20 into the 25-yard line. 52 seconds to go. Flag on the play. 10-point Calgary lead before the half. Well, a unique new reality series follows the antics of those guys. No, a sibling duo, Doug and Andrew McIver. Their Winnipeg-based used car dealership. BNN's Bargain Brothers mixes family with small business and premieres Tuesday at 7 Eastern, 8 Pacific. Winnipeg mascots, Buzz and Boomer. Longtime fixtures in the Manitoba capital. Bo Mitchell. 2 straight scores early on. Silence since then. Steps up and oh, great catch. No. Dropped football from Jabari Arthur downfield for a moment. Looked like he had made a circus grab.
Yeah, Arthur used all of his 6'4" frame to go up and get this football. Big guy lined up in the slot. There's the extension juggled. Unable to haul it in as he landed. You'll see the ball comes loose as he hits the turf, unable to survive that contact with the ground.
2nd and 10. Mitchell looking for Mo Price. He has the football. An amazing catch from Maurice Price.
Well, that ball just hung up, and Price had to hold up and make an adjustment to the ball that the defensive back Buckner wasn't able to make. You see it hangs up a little bit, and Price has to stop and cut back underneath to go get that one before the DB gets turned on it.
Close quarters, makes the grab. Stampeders threaten again. Loads of time here for Bo Mitchell. And picked off. Blue Bombers take it away again. Don Unumba has the pick. And Winnipeg may have another shot at putting some points on the board.
Well, Unumba into the lineup for Deja Dunn at that weak side linebacker spot. Now it looked to me like Mitchell had a shot out in the flat to the wide side to John Cornish, but he's looking for something a little bigger. You saw the little point to Nick Lewis there saying, I'm coming your way. Well, Don Unumba saw the same thing and jumped on it.
Blue Bombers only have 2 field goals in this ball game. Brom over the top for Cott. Nice spin. Avoids the tackle from Duron Mayo. 15 seconds to go. They're going to have to stretch this out if they want to put this into field goal range.
Well, they've struggled to finish, but the Bombers have certainly battled and have made some plays in this ball game. Brom acquitting himself fairly well in the first half.
Deep drop again. Brom decides to go. And he slides up near the 50-yard line, but it took too much time off the clock. And now the Bombers want to put any points on the board. They're going to have to heave one deep. Will they, or will they just decide to take a knee and go into the locker room with a 10-point deficit? Stampeders go into a prevent. Rush only 3. Colehurt back in the game, in motion now with Nick Moore. Might even hook and ladder it. That's what they're planning on doing here. Now they're going to boot it. And that will do it. Very interesting first half. Calgary scores early. Winnipeg hangs on. Brian Brom looking pretty good so far. 16-6 ball game here as we send it back to Rod Smith and the coach, Paul Lappolice.
Thank you, Rod Black, with the GMC Coaches Playbook as we really look how the Stampeders, after Bo Levi Mitchell had missed a month with injury, got established early in this game. Let's look at the touchdowns.
Yeah, he struggled a little bit, and the Winnipeg defense has done a great job in the second quarter, but they had a tough first quarter. Gave up 2 first series, 2 touchdowns on deep passes. Talk about the first one. You're going to get 2 deep, man under. So you've got help to the inside with man-to-man. These guys can help, and they can push out and expand to help on any routes. Where they have trouble, those half-field safeties can't make plays on the outside. Unfortunately for Johnson here, the field halfback, he can't give up the outside that quickly. He either has to stay with him or play outside leverage. If he's outside leverage, he funnels it to the free. There's no chance for the safety, and Johnson gets beat himself in his man coverage. Now, the next one, here's hard play action. Okay, so you're going to see into the boundary, Damon Washington and Chris Randall both looking at what's going on. Both guys can't do that. If you want Damon to get, he can certainly get involved in the run. If he's going to do that, Randall needs to be inside leverage to take away the deep post. Or if you want Randall he can actually play the run. Demond has got to be a deep player. But what you can't have on this hard play action is both players play down at the line of scrimmage. Opens up a huge seam for West touchdown here. So I like what Winnipeg has done, though. They've got 2 takeaways. They've really responded after that first quarter, Rob. They've done a better job.
They really have. They had a chance to get right back into the big pass from Brom to Clarence Denmark to get him inside the 10, but then ultimately they cough it up with the fumble, so nothing to show for it there. So they are down by 10, hanging in against a very good Calgary team trying to clinch first in the West. At the half, we're going to talk about the earlier game. Big one in the East with the Argos and Montreal Alouettes as well. It's the CFL on TSN.
The game, 182 yards. But for the Bombers to win this game, not only have to slow down Bo Levi Mitchell, but more importantly, you have to stop John Cornish.
Absolutely. Here is Bo Levi Mitchell now with Sarah Oleski.
Obviously, we saw the success early on in the first quarter, but what happened in the second?
Oh, we just got to execute. I mean, there's things out there that we're just missing right now. We're just a little bit off, but, that just comes back with, playing with the guys again. So we just got to get some things put together and keep going.
I was going to say, this is your first time back game since September the 13th. How'd you feel out there?
Oh, I feel good. I mean, obviously, there's some things I got to execute on. The body feels great, though. I'm not even worrying about the knee or anything. But, we got to put more points on the board.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tonight, Clarence Denmark, part of a razzle-dazzle package in that first half. He's with Sarah Orlesky.
All right, Clarence, you've obviously played with Brian Brom before, but this is his first start. What did you think of the first half?
I think he's doing great. I think he's getting the ball out fast. He's reading the defense well, and we're moving the ball fine.
I say there were some big plays, yours included, in that first half in which you guys were able to move the ball. How do you capitalize on that, though, in the second?
I think we just have to come out and keep doing the same thing, but we just have to finish with touchdowns this half.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great catch, one of the catches of the year, maybe, by Clarence Denmark as Brian Brom readies himself. A Winnipeg team where wins have not come easily since August. That's lost 6 in a row. The Calgary Stampeders, though, came out flying. 14-0 early lead. Hey, Paredes will get this back on the team. Ready to go here, and maybe he might need a little assistance, and he will. This wind that's starting to pick up here in Winnipeg and University of Manitoba campus, south of the city. Paredes now boots it. Shorter kick. Sam McGuffey again. And Brian Brom returns to the field to begin the third quarter. The Bombers will get the first series this time.
The only negative for Brian Brom in the first half, aside from the score, fumble in scoring position, but in terms of production, in terms of poise, in terms of the way he ran this offense, a pretty good first half. 13 of 21, 185 yards, but again, just not enough to show for it on the scoreboard.
I heard the guys in the studio talk about Calgary's run production as well. Paris Cotton now produces big run up near the midfield stripe. Let's go to the sideline quickly now. Sarah has an injury update.
Yeah, another receiver, Rod, this time on the Bombers sideline, though. The word is that Nick Moore is done. He is out with a lower body injury.
That has been a constant refrain this season for the Blue Bombers for Nick Moore. Just unable to get healthy enough to stay in the lineup for a sustained period of time. So the Bombers will be without Nick Moore for the rest of the night. Tight end formation. Cotton again. Dragged down near the 50-yard line. A pickup of 5. Second down. A chance to convert again for the Blue Bombers.
Well, we've seen a few flashes from Paris Cotton here as he officially becomes the Winnipeg Blue Bombers starting running back, replacing Nick Grigsby. And you see the numbers that Grigsby had posted. Remains the Canadian Football League leader in touchdowns as well as touches. Obviously, it played a significant role in this offense.
There's the rush and an incomplete pass. Going over the middle for Clarence Denmark, unable to complete that. So the kick team will come out again for the Blue Bombers. Will operate with the wind. Again, Calgary won the toss, deferred to the second half. They will have the wind in the fourth quarter.
On a good opportunity here with a solid punt from Hairolahu to really put the Stampeders at a disadvantage in terms of field position.
Big kick here. Looks like it might make the end zone, though, and it does. Add a single point for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Will Mitchell, 2 touchdown passes, 2 interceptions so far. And his return from injury in Winnipeg tonight.
Well, Levi Mitchell got off to a great start out of the gate. Stampeders coming off the bye week. Heard Paul LaPolice talk about in the coach's playbook. Well prepared for this ball game.
Get it, Chris, get it.
That fast start cooled off in the second quarter, however, as the Bombers seem to settle in, perhaps a few adjustments on both sides of the ball.
Calgary notoriously is very good this season. One of the reasons they're 12-2 because of their quick starts. 8-0 when they lead after one quarter. They led after one quarter here tonight. And after that first quarter, Levi Mitchell.
Procedure, illegal formation, no end. Calgary, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Looked like he might be orchestrating a route here tonight. It looks so easy.
Yeah, early on, it definitely did. You think of those 2 touchdown passes very early, particularly the bomb to Joe West, where he was wide open off that play action.
Blue Bomber defense has done a pretty good job on Mitchell and company. There goes Cornish. They can't stop this guy. Then again, who can? John Cornish again will move the sticks.
Well, one thing with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, you're not seeing a ton of the pre-snap movement, but if you notice on that play, middle linebacker Ian Wild lined up on the line of scrimmage out to the left and looped into the middle, right into the hole where John Cornish was running, but basically just overran him because he's in motion, he's on the move, whereas if he's more set in his spot, less of an issue.
Double reverse this time to Anthony Parker. So John Hufnagel throws a little gadget play back at Mike O'Shea and the Blue Bombers.
Yeah, a little wrinkle. We've seen Parker involved in one of these before, a flea flicker in Toronto early in the season. Parker motioning top to bottom on your screen. Again, misdirection created by the strength of their run game and the focus on John Cornish. Dave Dickinson tries to take advantage of that.
Slant pattern. Over to Jabari Arthur. Beats up a number of blue and gold members.
Jabari Arthur, one-time Winnipeg Blue Bomber, a guy who was originally drafted by Calgary, traded to Winnipeg, along with Odell Willis in the deal that saw Robbie Bryant become a Calgary Stampeder. After injury issues, released by the Bombers, returned to Calgary. An important depth receiver for the Stamps.
2nd down and 2. Blue Bombers loaded up, try to stop Cornish, and they cannot. Penalty flag flew late.
The Bombers tried to bring an extra defender up there, the free safety. Mo Leggett was the guy shot into the backfield.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness, Winnipeg, number 45, 15 yards from the end of the play. First down.
Well, a very costly penalty will move this ball deeper into Blue Bomber territory. Let's take a look.
And it looked like, keep an eye on Spencer Wilson, number 50. He's got a hold of the defender.
Oh boy.
Kind of launches a meat ball into the pile. And that's what got him called.
Close to the red zone. Tight end formation for the Stamps. Mitchell, pump fake, end zone, and one-on-one coverage, penalty flag in the end zone, and interference call is going to take this down to the goal line.
Bruce Johnson, the first-year halfback.
Pass interference, Winnipeg, number 25. The foul occurred goal, therefore it's on the 1 yard line, automatic first down.
It's on what we'll call kind of a flat corner route, and Johnson just ran up on him as West tried to slow down to adjust to that football.
Drew Tate.
There's a challenge flag down. They just spotted it.
Challenge flag down from Mike O'Shea. Offensive pass interference. Challengeable this year in the Canadian Football League. 45 times it has been challenged. 12 times the play has been changed.
Winnipeg is challenging the previous play for defensive pass interference. It will be reviewed.
And this is one, as much as anything, as you see Joe West, wide side wide receiver on this play from a Winnipeg perspective. Kind of a shot you have to take because you don't want to get into any more of a hole in this ball game. I'm not necessarily convinced that this is a winnable challenge. As you see West trying to work back to the football. And whether intentional or not, I mean, Johnson thinks he's going to the corner and doesn't locate the ball until late.
Yeah, I think this is definitely going to stay what it is. Clearly
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed by replay. It is pass interference. The ball's at the 1 yard line. First down.
1 yard line for the Stamps, and Drew Tate come behind center. Rushing touchdowns make it 9 for Drew Tate. Stampeders extend the lead.
On a penalty-aided drive there for the Calgary Stampeders, who start the second half much the same way they started the first.
Practically 50 yards and penalties on that drive. Results in Drew Tate's 9th rushing touchdown. That leads the Canadian Football League on the ground, and that's his domain near the goal line. Running the football in or sneaking it in. Very quiet now here in Investors Group Field. Tate scores. Stamps lead 23-7. Drew Tate is so good from that area, and a big plus for the Stamps is that big offensive line.
Yeah, their short yardage success, absolutely no surprise given the way they run the football at all points on the field.
Now the Blue Bombers needing a response. Once again, McGuffey. Dropped by Carl McCartney. Up near the 25-yard line.
Well, it'll be interesting here now to see, with another touchdown added to that Stampeder lead, if the game plan starts to shift a little bit for Brian Braum and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Paris Cotton has been involved in the run game. He's been productive. They've been able to work some play action off of that. Again, you put a lot of stress on a young offensive line if you get into pass mode too soon.
They go tight ends here. They will pass. And Robbie Bryant, the former Calgary Stampeder. You saw Drew Tate earlier wasn't too long ago when Drew Tate and Romby Bryant connected on one of the greatest plays in Stampeder playoff history.
Yeah, big win over the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Late completion. Revealed later that Drew Tate was injured at that point, didn't play the following week.
2nd and 1. One Drew to another. Drew Willie, spectator here tonight. Very impressive numbers. Really in his first season. 14 interceptions. A number that should be put on there, though, are all the sacks and the hits that he had to take. And Drew Willie has had to absorb a lot of punishment this season.
Yeah, he has earned the respect and admiration of his teammates for sure. A guy who just leads by example, never complains. He's gone in week in, week out and done his thing.
There's an interference call. Brom got blocked as he threw the football. There are 2 flags. This could move it deep if it's roughing the passer and interference. Looked like it might be a double whammy, and Calgary might return the gift.
Defensive pass interference, Calgary, number 8. Major foul, roughing the passer, Calgary, number 12. Both fouls will be applied. First down.
Indeed, down to the Calgary 40-yard line.
I'll keep an eye here on Juwan Simpson. He's going to come inside on this rush. But watch for the left arm as he goes by. Shot to the head. It's been called consistently by the officials. There you see the referee, Al Bradbury, in perfect position to make that call. Brian Brom looked like he wrapped that hand off the helmet.
Maybe even the grill here. Watch his hand. Apparently the hand is bleeding. Juwan Simpson.
See the tail end of the play for the pass interference call.
So they work on that hand. Robert Marve will come into the game, the backup here tonight, usually 3rd-string quarterback for the Blue Bombers. Marve, the former Purdue Boilermaker. Brom's still down on one knee, and Mike O'Shea's going out to take a look.
Well, we certainly hope for Brian Brom and for the Winnipeg Bombers that it's not more serious than that sting that goes along with banging off a helmet on a cold day.
It's just on the top of his thumb, so we'll see if Brom returns quickly here. Robert Marve pressed into action now. Stampeders loaded up. Harris caught in the backfield, and he is stood up and brought down hard.
Met right at the line of scrimmage by a guy who has had a fantastic season filling in, Junior Turner, number 7. Beats Chris Greaves, the left guard, to the inside. Get into that gap and make the play. Turner, the Bishop's product, out of Brampton, Ontario, football hotbed.
Football and basketball hotbed these days, is it not? Here they come again. Marve decides to take it. Good play call here. Calls his own number, and Robert Marve, who is fleet of foot, brings it very close to a first down. He gets to the 30. They should reset the yardsticks.
And a great play call in what the Stampeders viewed as a very obvious pass situation. They only rushed 4. The blockers took them to each side. Coverage dropped off far enough to allow Marve to get to that first down marker.
44.
First down, Winnipeg from the 30. 6.5 to go, 3rd quarter. Play action. Marve lets it go, and in and out of the hands. Carl Fitzgerald, as Marve also took a lick as he threw the football.
A little too much on that one. He didn't have a chance to get set with the pressure coming as we see Brian Braun head for the dressing room.
Well, that's not good news there.
We wonder how, if it may be a more serious laceration or if there's some further damage to that thumb.
Not only that, he is Lirim Hajrullahu holder. And Marve goes deep for Watson. And again, hammered as he threw the football. Pressure again. Sean Lemon comes in on Robert Marve.
And Lemon's coming from the bottom of your screen. The former Edmonton Eskimo and Saskatchewan Rough Rider. He got a piece of him, as did Linjay Shell.
Hard landing, and so with Braum gone to the locker room, Kyle Jones is the holder for Hajrullahu, who puts it up, and it's wide right. And John Sanders decides that he has some room, and Sanders brings it up near the 25-yard line. So trouble here for Winnipeg suddenly, and Brian Braum is also hurt. He's this year, much to the chagrin of quarterbacks around the CFL. Saskatchewan leads the sack attack. Edmonton is second. Calgary with 40 sacks. Winnipeg with 38. Next drive is Sunday, November 2nd in Montreal. The Alouettes, by the way, winning earlier today, keeping pace with Hamilton in the East. Win in Toronto. East tightens up. Mitchell, deep shot, and trying to haul it in was Joe West, but could not pull that in with one hand. A little bit overthrown from Bo Mitchell as he was going for the vertical shot.
Yeah, West looked like he had a little bit of trouble judging the trajectory of that ball in the air as it approached. Initially, it looked like it was going to be overthrown. Then West slowed down a little bit. He thought it might drop. In the end, might have had a pretty good shot at that football.
Calgary offense trying to kick it into gear again. Play action, and a quick 2 and out here from the Stampeders. Exactly what the Blue Bombers wanted. 5:06, but the concern right now is surrounding quarterback and who can play for Winnipeg. Robert Marve came in after Brian Braum went out with that apparent thumb injury, and we have not seen Brian Braum return from the locker room. Right now it is Robert Marve's show. Johnny Sears back. Rob Maver to boot this from the 15-yard line. End over end against the wind. Sears cutting backwards. Dodges one. Trying to get the edge. A straight arm there. Marve returns. Week 7. The NFL season continues. San Francisco 49ers and Peyton Manning and the Broncos. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on TSN. Rough Riders Eskimos tomorrow as well. Finishing off our week in the CFL. Saturday night football tonight in Winnipeg. Marve now. 4.5 to go. And he decides to call his number again. And all the players spatted out in pink. All the pink around the league the next 2 weeks, tackling women's cancers. Great awareness being raised. It's an important cause to so many people and many of the players who have been affected in their lives by cancer. 2nd and 4. Stays in. Unable to make the catch on the far side is Brett Carter. Junior player, made the roster this year for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, played with the Winnipeg Rifles. He's had a few catches already. Winnipeg, one of the cities where there's been a strong junior football program through the years.
Rifles have a big playoff game. Saskatchewan tomorrow.
It's that time of year, huh? Playoff football starting, CIS, CFL pretty soon. Good kick this time. Great kick from Lirim Hajrullahu. Long field here against the wind for the Stamps now.
These guys are afraid to tackle you, all right? They don't want to hit. They don't want to
during the bye week, that is Calgary quarterback Bo Levi Mitchell in Drumheller, Alberta.
They were just excited to have
135 kilometers northeast of Calgary, and Bo Levi Mitchell had a chance to coach and be with the Drumheller Terrapins. And they loved it.
It was a lot of fun, you know. I think when I went to talk to those guys and kind of give them some tips, it was more like they didn't care what I was saying. They were just like, "Can I have your autograph?" They're like, "Dude, stop talking. Just give me your autograph." So, man, it was a lot of fun watching those guys and just you know, seeing the looks on their faces when we came out. It was for a great cause, you know. Obviously, with the vandalism that happened in their locker room, it's a terrible thing when they're trying to build a community and play football and start what a lot of people in Canada are trying to do, and that's build, you know, that foundation for football. So you start to see a lot more Canadians coming into the league. So it's something I'm excited about. It's something I'm going to, you know, pour my heart into over the next couple of years to try and, you know, keep building that foundation around Canada.
Well, good for you, Bo Levi Mitchell. Out of Katy, Texas, who knows about small town football. Drumheller, that Pee Wee team, again, their locker room vandalized, and they didn't think they can continue the program. They raised a lot of money. Bo went up there with Ralph the dog, and, you know, talking with him yesterday about it, you know, you could see his eyes sparkling, and he knows what it's like to be one of those kids.
Well, he sure does, and I think it captured one of his passions, which is coaching. The guy who's interested in being a coach in the future, and his OC, Dave Dickinson, talks about him being the first guy in every day.
John Cornish stopped one of the few times tonight on second down. They're able to put the brakes on number 9, and once again, the Blue Bombers will get the ball back. And with 2.5 to go here, they might get really good field position if Rob Maver does kick it. He will be in his end zone, and it's against the wind. Possibility that he could give up 2 here.
Bombers could do themselves a huge favor if they are able to take advantage of this wind before the quarter is out and get some more points on the board.
Maver will give up 2. And somebody better go after him, because one thing about Rob Maver, that was brilliant execution. He just took off about 10-15 seconds on the clock, and valuable time for the Blue Bombers, especially when they have this breeze.
Yeah, very good awareness of the situation from the punter Maver.
Bombers were kind of expecting him to take a knee, and nobody was going after him.
And by contrast, that in any situation, you want to make sure you've got people forcing the kicker, whether he's taking that safety or not.
So the Stamps will boot it back to Winnipeg. 23-9. And a team that started Brian Brom, his first start, leaves the game in the third quarter with an apparent thumb or hand injury. Looks like he had a laceration. Might be worse than that. Sam McGuffey is back.
And Paradise having a problem keeping that ball on the tee again.
Well, it's been a very cool day. Weather's supposed to turn here again in Winnipeg this week. Get a little nicer, but playoff style weather. Line drive. Not go to McGuffey. Still no word on Brian Brom. Volney bringing that back, and Robert Marve returns.
Robert Marve turned some heads in his preseason debut for the Blue Bombers. Came on late in their opener. Showed some flashes, generated some excitement. And part of what the Blue Bombers liked about this guy as their number 3 quarterback behind Willie and Brom was that he added a different dimension, a different skill set.
Harris Cotton is dropped again. Stampeders reading that perfectly. So very similar scenario for the Blue Bombers to 4 days ago when they played the Edmonton Eskimos. Drew Willie leaves with a hand injury. In comes Brian Brom. Brian Brom leaves with a hand injury. In comes Robert Marve.
Yeah, the concern is you're digging a little bit deeper in the depth chart and getting a less experienced guy, Brian Brom, a guy who's been around the world of pro football for several years. Robert Marve, true rookie here.
This is what he can do best, though, is run the football. Off his back foot, and oh, what a delivery! First down! Colhurt. What a sprint out by Robert Marve. One of the hardest throws in football is that throw going the other way.
Well, this is Marve improvising when that pocket breaks down on him. But this, as we talk about having that different skill set, is what Marve brings to the table, that mobility. You'd like to see them try and move the pocket around a little more with him. We saw a quarterback draw earlier. Take advantage of his strengths, play to his abilities.
24 to go here in the third quarter. There's lots of room here if he wants it. Bursts it outside. Juwan Simpson gets chased, and Marve flies through the air out of bounds. First down. Brings the crowd to life here in Winnipeg. Oh, he's quick.
Yeah, nice decision here by the young quarterback. He still may have an opportunity to throw the ball as he gets out on the edge. But again, I like this choice. A lot of times you want your quarterback keep his eyes downfield looking for the throw. With the young guy, if he can keep the chains moving by pulling it down and running it, that's the best decision at this time.
Barring penalty, final play of the third quarter. Sends out 4 receivers. Gives it to Paris Cotton. Look out! He will not be caught! Touchdown, Paris Cotton! Like a cannonball. Paris Cotton explodes up the middle. 35 yards on the final play of the third quarter. And the Blue Bombers have life.
Well, you're going to get a great block from the left guard, Chris Graves, to wash everything down. Takes his man right out of the way. Jace Daniels up to second level on the linebacker, and there is no one there. Now, the other aspect of this, they've got to be aware of contain. Marve carries out his fake on the bootleg. They've got to keep contained because you've got a guy who's just broken contain on you a couple of times. That helps keep the hole wide.
Well, a Winnipeg Blue Bomber team that keeps plugging and playing. They need a win here. Playoff times, playoff style football. Stampeders have the lead. Bombers creep a little closer after 3 in Winnipeg. Robert Marve comes in the game, 23-16 the score now. Passing yards almost the same. Look at the rushing yards, in fact, favoring the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and who would have thought that in this game, especially in a week where they lose Nick Grigsby?
Yeah, and it hasn't been necessarily churning, pounding away, chipping away, but a few big runs from Paris Cotton, and you're seeing the advantage that his speed provides. And now you've got Robert Marve in the ball game, chipping in with some yardage along the ground as well. Nicely executed drive by the rookie quarterback. Started off with a completion, then his run followed by the most recent from Paris Cotton. Again, this is what Cotton brings to the lineup. A little more big playability, I believe.
So now Lirim Harilahu will kick it off here in this fourth quarter. Calgary Stampeders 10-1 when they lead after 3 this season. Blue Bombers won't go away. Oh, a close hang. Cedric Cunningham just got armbarred. Wow. Dangerous, dangerous play.
Louis Richardson comes in off the right side of the screen.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness, Winnipeg. 15 yards from the other play. First down.
One of those clips that looks great in a football movie, but
oh boy, very, very dangerous. You can decapitate someone with that play. Louis Richardson, a little overexcited, cost his team 15 yards. Shea thought it was cleaner than that. Cornish. John Cornish was running wild, Dwayne, in that first half, and the Bombers provided no response. Couldn't solve him. Right now, they seem to have the number on number 9.
Well, the free safety, Mo Leggett, has been down close to the line of scrimmage a lot, particularly on first down as this game has progressed. He's the man in on that tackle on John Cornish.
Illegal block, Calgary, number 86, 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
John Cornish over the century mark. 102 yards. 208 yards the last time these two teams met. Calgary has beaten Winnipeg 9 straight games. The last time the Blue Bombers beat the Stampeders was back in 2009. The quarterback for Winnipeg that day was Stefan LaForce. Big drought. Mitchell hangs in. Nice catch again. Anthony Parker with the completion. Oh, Levi Mitchell getting some great protection. Able to drop that football in.
Nice job by Parker to hang on to this football. He knows he's going into traffic in the middle of the field. Secures it, makes sure to try and get both hands, cover up that ball as the Bombers converge.
Ian Wild is the injured Blue Bomber. Wild just came back into the lineup a little while ago. Mercyhurst, middle linebacker for the Blue Bombers.
They played varsity lacrosse at Division II Mercyhurst as well. In fact, won a national championship, was the MVP.
Great academic there as well, a 4.0 grade point average. Down with injury. He was the first guy, and maybe a bit of a stinger here for Ian Wild. His responsibility tonight. Mission Cornish, keep an eye on him. Downfield that time, so he goes to the sideline. It's 2nd and 2. Drew Tate. Get a fresh set of downs for Bo Mitchell. Calgary team that a year ago also finished first in the West, and of course lost to Saskatchewan in the West Final. When chatting with John Huffnagel yesterday and Bo Mitchell, everyone on this team, the mission has been a lot different this year. Not that they took Saskatchewan lightly by any stretch, but they're taking it one game at a time and making sure that they, down the stretch, don't get complacent. Cornish has room now. John Cornish, big run.
Well, finding different ways, different angles to set things up for John Cornish. Keep an eye here on the center. Brett Jones, he's going to work play side while everybody else pulls the other way with that misdirection. That means Jones has got to be the key guy. He's the lone man. He gets that end hooked. Allows John Cornish to turn it upfield.
Tight end package. Up the gut again for Cornish, who is now the CFL rushing leader. And see what Anthony Allen can offer up tomorrow for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. But after a season for the ages last year when he won the Most Outstanding Player Award, to have the injuries he's had this year and to do what he's doing again is rather remarkable.
It certainly is. John Cornish, guy who has largely removed any need to mention the word Canadian. You talk about how great a player he is, how great a running back he is.
He is great. 2nd and 4. Again, loads of steamboats. Mitchell hanging in now, collapsing, and down he goes. Blue Bombers with a gang sack.
You chalk this one up as a coverage sack. Well, Levi Mitchell looking downfield but couldn't find anything, and eventually the defensive line able to get to the Stampeder quarterback. Here, eyes are still downfield, trying to set, trying to find something, but nothing's there. D-line eventually catches up to him, led by Jason Vega and Bryant Turner.
Rene Paredes, his struggles beyond the 40, well documented this season. This one is straight up and through, though. Restores the 10-point advantage. And we see more from Paris Cotton. Calgary Stampeders have seen enough. And as Brian Brom's game, it looks like it's Robert Marve's show now. Here's Sarah Orlesky.
It sure is, Rod. If the Bombers are going to snap this 6-game losing streak, it's going to come with Robert Marve at quarterback. The Bombers have confirmed that Brian Brom is done for the night with a hand injury.
So obviously more than just a cut. I think it might have been jammed, or perhaps worse for Brian Brom. That's not good news for the quarterback situation. He goes and gets the green again. Rory Colhern. Robert Marve is very good at dodging and making that throw on the run or on the hop. First down again, Winnipeg.
And you see that his offensive coordinator, Marcel Belfait, is well aware of the strengths of his young quarterback, getting him on the move, throwing the ball off play action.
And the Blue Bombers here in the fourth, working against the wind. It's not subsiding. Paris Cotton this time is swallowed up at the line of scrimmage.
And the Bombers, in keeping this game close, also keep Paris Cotton in that ground game involved. Big help to their offensive line, retooled offensive line that, all things considered, has done a pretty good job here.
Bad for a guy, Jace Daniels. Just came to Winnipeg this week, protecting the blind side. Cotton in motion. Marve in trouble right away. Dodges, escapes, and will have to throw it. At some point he does. Oh, what a play! Are you kidding me? Brett Carter makes the catch.
Juwan Simpson can only shake his head. Middle linebacker unblocked on a bust. Right up the middle on the blitz. Marve dodges him. A throwaway on this play would have been a win. But that's not enough for him. Gets the completion, and his teammates are losing their mind as he goes into the bench area.
How did he do that? Houdini. Cotton. Left side, and dragged down by Josh Bell. Half the first down yardage. Robert Marve scampers for his life and makes something out of nothing. Right into Calgary territory here. The Blue Bombers, again, still breathing here tonight. Must-win time. Really have to win out any hope in the West. After losing 6 in a row. 2nd and 7. Spotted for a 3-yard gain. Loads of motion here. 3-man rush this time. Marve wants to go, but he gets hit hard by Juwan Simpson from behind. And if he takes another shot like that, they might have to go to their 3rd-string quarterback. First down, though, Winnipeg. That was a very hard hit from Juwan Simpson.
It sure was. The 3-man rush, though, opens up wide run lanes for the quarterback. He takes advantage of that to pick up that first down.
There is the defensive coordinator, longtime DC in the league, Rich Stubler. Play action. Quick shot. Clearance. Denmark has a seam down to the 20. And you're going to add 15 onto this as well, because Robert Marve, was this a roughing the passer play just as he threw the football? Deron Mayo was right in his grill.
Yeah.
Major foul, roughing the passer. Calgary, number 42. That'll be added on at the end of play, half the distance to the goal. First down.
Taking hits, making plays.
You're going to see Duron Mayo come flying up here. As Marve throws the ball, he carries through on the head. The contact is to the head. And there's the flag. It looked like Mayo tried to hold up, but again, this is something that's been called consistently all year.
Paris caught in the backfield, pistol formation. Takes it up the middle. He scores! Touchdown! Winnipeg! So many of these fans on their feet here tonight, probably saying in the middle of this game, who are these guys?
A couple of young guys that have been here since day one of training camp. Paris Cotton, Robert Marve, called into duty under different circumstances here for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, but getting it done. Paris Cotton, 12 carries, 102 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Blue Bombers stay alive. 3-point ball game. And Winnipeg is trying to put the win back in tonight after losing 6 straight. At the beginning of this night, if you look down the ledgers, the tail of the tape, if you went by numbers and on paper, Winnipeg had no chance.
Everything Calgary did well, Winnipeg didn't counter well, or so it seemed.
Cedric Cunningham picks his way up. Nice return. First place against last place in the West, and right now the underdogs trying to take down the top dogs.
A couple of running backs putting up pretty good numbers tonight. Paris Cotton for the Bombers, and of course John Cornish for the Calgary Stampeders. We mentioned just the 3rd Canadian in history to go over 6,000 career rushing yards, and closing very quickly on Sean Millington in 2nd place. He trails by just 8 yards.
Mitchell, quick hitter. Incomplete, Nick Lewis. Blanket coverage in there.
Yeah, it looked like the middle linebacker, Ian Wild. Got a hand on that one. Starts off in the middle of your screen. He's going to drop slightly to his left here. Into that zone coverage, reading the quarterback's eyes. Closing the window.
Second and 10. Mitchell now. He's got room. Looks to throw in pursuit. And incomplete again. Unable to make the catch downfield. Jabari Arthur, more heat put on Bo Levi Mitchell, and the Blue Bombers are going to get the football back again.
Yeah, pocket breaks down, forcing Mitchell to chuck this one on the run. Jabari Arthur unable to squeeze it with Bruce Johnson in close quarters.
Who would have thought we would have been here? 26-23. Stamps roared out to a 14-zip lead. Almost blocked. Johnny Sears dropped at the 18-yard line. Well, Rich Stubler been around this league and has devised defenses to stop the greatest. Not very happy over there with his horses.
Well, pretty fired up, getting pretty animated, talking to his defensive players on the sidelines.
Calgary a chance to clinch first in the West tonight. Still have a couple of games if they can't to do that, but under the heading, never take an opponent lightly. Not that they did. But go figure, and a late flag flies. Paris Cotton was stopped at the line of scrimmage. This is a Calgary team that is #1 in the CFL with the least amount of penalties before this game.
Major foul, face mask, Calgary, number 91. 15-yard penalty from the end of the play. Automatic first down.
Very uncharacteristic of the Stampeders this season tonight, the penalties.
And DeQuinn Evans is at the defensive tackle on the left. There you see him wrap up. Cotton, from the official's vantage point, the right hand that we couldn't see must have caught the mask.
Run blocking again for Paris Cotton. But again, this is why it's very hard to make bets on sports. This was a long shot at best for the Blue Bombers. Ryan Brom coming in, first start. Robert Marve comes in, third stringer a few weeks ago. Now they're down 3 within striking distance. Second and 6. Marve's in trouble. And he goes down. Looked like trouble from the snap there for the Blue Bombers, and their kick team will come out.
Yeah, that one broke down in a hurry. DeQuinn Evans making up for the earlier miscue. Just a quick rush to the inside, beating the youngster, Matthias Goosen.
Against the wind. Jock Sanders starting one way and another. Good field position for the Stampeders here with 4:24 to go. And a reminder, Tuesday, get a complete Week 17 CFL recap with extended game highlights, key moments, and sound bites you won't find anywhere else. CFL in 30, underway at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on TSN 5. This has had a lot of ebb and flow in here, this game tonight, has it not?
It sure has. You said it early on. This looked like it was going to be a beatdown after the first quarter.
Here's the key, though, John Cornish. A guy who is known for closing out games with big-time plays. Typical Cornish night on the ground. Typical yardage for him. Gary Echeverry, can he find a way to stop him?
And the key for the Blue Bombers is knowing Cornish is going to get some yards. He's going to chip away a little bit, but making sure he doesn't break that big one.
Lines up in the pistol. Mitchell to throw. Wings it out for Anthony Parker. It's a first down. Clock ticking down towards 3 minutes. Anthony Parker, key part of this one tonight. Brad Sinopoli going down early with injury after he made a touchdown catch.
Anthony Parker, 8 catches tonight. That is a season and career high for the young slot back.
Limps to the sideline. First and 10 from the Winnipeg 47. 3 receivers. Tight end package, direct snap. Cornish. Boy, got great blocking help again. First down, it looks like, for the Stampeders. Depends on the spot. Eating up the real estate, eating up valuable seconds.
Well, a nice run from Cornish. A nice job here by his left tackle. Stanley Bryant getting around the corner. Quick block there on the middle linebacker. Wild trying to flow to that play.
It has not been easy here tonight. John Huffnagel alluded to that yesterday. Don't take anybody lightly. It's a first down. And now John Cornish only has Normie Kwong to chase down.
A second all-time in that Canadian rushing list.
Jackson's name on there. Great, great names. History. Maker and breaker. Play action. Mitchell can't find anybody. Now has to throw it down the sideline and away. Set up another second down at the 3-minute warning here. Calgary Stampeders 3 minutes away from clinching first in the West. But the Blue Bombers still in it. Expect to see more of number 9 down the stretch here in Winnipeg. And put up by John Cornish, John Huffnagel. Left to wonder here tonight. His team has the ball though. Threatening to put more points on the board. Mitchell over the middle. Nick Lewis dragged down from behind. Football was loose, but the play was blown dead, and Lewis was down. Nick Lewis nowhere near his normal numbers the last few seasons. Typically 1,000-yard a season receiver, but this is what he does best. Clutch time. He steps up.
Yeah, very different role for Nick Lewis. Here he's going to set up first to block. And then that delayed drag across the field just gets him a half-step head start on Don Unamba, the linebacker, covering him as he lured him into a false sense of security when he set up the block for
Cornish, right side, up the middle again, another first down. And right now the Blue Bombers defense is bending. Their goal here is to keep Calgary out of the end zone. Keep it a one-possession game.
And the Stampeders, though, continue to execute that ground game. We say it all the time. See that clock ticking in the bottom right corner of your screen. The best running teams are the ones that can do it when everyone knows it's coming.
Well, and the more plays you continue to run, the clock continues to wind down. Bombers try to force the Stamps into a field goal attempt. Try to have some time left on the clock to bring it downfield. Bo Mitchell, he's thrown a couple of picks, but also 2 touchdown passes in his return to the lineup. Trying to go 14-1 as a starter. Extraordinary. There goes Cornish again, and upended by Unamba inside the 10. So one of the biggest plays of the ball game's upcoming. Second down.
Timeout's called. Winnipeg.
It'll be second and about 5 yards for the Stamps. 151 yards for John Cornish.
Well, it's the yards per carry that always continues to amaze me about Cornish. You see averaging 7.5 tonight. Averaging 7.7 on the season coming into tonight's average. Action.
Cornish up the middle, and he scores! John Cornish seals the deal.
And the Stampeders on that drive imposed their will. The will to claim first place in the West.
When in doubt, give it to number 9. That drive was all about John Cornish. The reigning MOP delivers yet again. And now the Blue Bombers with a minute 25 lead.
That's what I'm talking about, boy. Let's see it.
Here's John Cornish. The Stamps now lead by 10.
That's the moment, those moments. Hey, thank you. Tell me when we laugh.
The Bombers need to find a way to the end zone in a hurry and need an onside kick as well.
Betty, sorry about the chip hit.
but thanks for your support.
Here you see Cornish pounding his way in. Offensive line provides the initial hole. Cornish does the rest.
Cornish has an opportunity to break the yards per carry record this season, averaging over 7 as well, as you mentioned. But when you talk with John Cornish, he doesn't care a bit about the numbers. All it is next game, next up, what happens next. And the Stampeders, their next really meaningful game, it looks like, will be November 23rd when they host the West Final. A minute 20 away from clinching first, stretching their record to 13-2, and then 3 games to go on a season where you have to be careful too in those final 3 games. Careful about injury, but careful about not getting too complacent getting into those games and being ready, being fresh for that West Final.
Oh, absolutely. It's that fine balance every year between being physically sharp and mentally sharp and being healthy.
Over the middle, John Huffnagel, minute 16 from going 8-0 with his teams after a bye week. That may not seem that significant to some people. I mean, you know what, it's a bye week. You still have to get your team prepared to play. And by the way, the Calgary Stampeders have been a powerhouse the last couple of seasons.
And John Huffnagel hoping that regular season post-bye week success can translate to the playoffs this year as his team looks to close this one out and take first place in the West.
A couple of glitches tonight, obviously, and they kept the Blue Bombers in it, but credit Winnipeg. Team seriously shorthanded right now, and Marve not about to give up. Drew Willie and Chuk on the sideline, so is Brian Braum now, and Robert Marve left to finish the game. Almost was able to pull one out here.
Yeah, Juwan Simpson's been known to get in the ear of quarterbacks to talk a little trash, but I think he had some props for the youngster for the way he brought his team back here.
That's not what we thought we'd see as well. Brian Braum, Civvies. We'll have to look at his hand. Obviously some concern there. The Blue Bombers will lose 7 straight and fall out of it. Pretty much fait accompli. No playoffs in Winnipeg again. 6-10 will be their record. Matt Walter gets some playing time here. So in the West, Stamps now 13-2. Edmonton and Saskatchewan will now battle for second place. Big meeting tomorrow. BC Lions 8-7, and the Blue Bombers now 6-10. Stamps could also chase a franchise record of 15 wins if so intended. Bo Levi Mitchell does not need to be reminded that there is no let up starting now.
We got to finish. Like, that's got to be the word that we focus on, that we think about all the time. Finish every single drill, finish every single stretch, every pass, every catch you make, you know, finish everything we can so that everybody has that overall feeling that no matter what, that we're not going to relax, that we're not going to, you know, think that we have it easy, that we have it done. There's no coming off the gas pedal. You know, we're going to push everything we can, full pedal, no matter what, all the way to the end until hopefully, you know, we get the last one of the year.
Isn't that an appropriate comment based on what we saw here even tonight?
Well, no question. It had some ups and downs as this game went on. But when it came down to crunch time, the Stampeders finished.
They finished. The Blue Bombers are finished for postseason hopes. John Huffnagel's team has done it again. They've won the West in the regular season. John Cornish, what else can you say? Outstanding again. Stamps win. They'll host the West Final. Down the stretch we